Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Xamarin presentational tutorial by Courseware Team Project. Xamarin is a tool which that it converts all the your C sharp that you code in the C sharp or .NET framework, and the Xamarin itself convert it to your desired platform. For example, for Android, Xamarin compiler compiles down the intermediate its IL language into JIT, like just-in-time compiler of the Java, which in turn compile it to the APK that was deployed on the Android. For in case of the iOS it compiles the Xamarin iOS, which uses the Xcode to convert it into the app. That's how it works. Let's start with Xamarin installation. Okay, let's start downloading the app. First Chrome, and then here it is Google, then Xamarin Studio, and here it is Xamarin, and here we go. There it comes, Xamarin, and here you fill the form. Is here ID. I have already installed Video Studio. Yes. Company developers now. Agree. Download now. Okay, what's the issue here? Okay. Okay, start downloading the file. Then you now may open it. Here it goes, Visual Studio. After that there comes initializing step, configuring page. Okay, there it goes. After that this screen goes up and you select all the features that you want to install. I want to install cross development, the Windows 10 mobile phone app, and a lot more, and it goes up to almost, if you select all the features, up to 41 GB. So it's up to you what features do you want to install. And after that here comes a lot of features as I have already installed. So this comes, then update it. After that it's completed. So that's up. So here we goes on with this. Now as I've already installed, so let's go to Visual Studio and start developing the apps. First let's start from the Android Xamarin with Android apps. This Xamarin with Android platform. First we have to set up the environment for the Xamarin in this, and for first of all we have to set up the AVD manager, in which we actually AVD manager is set up for the Android emulator, and here we are AVD manager. I have already added the one. First you have to create a new AVD, like say you have to add a new device. Here select I want to select anyone, like Galaxy. Create one Android according to which you want to deploy an app, on which you like emulator you get. Here we have the target API, on which the API level, or the that you get Android version, and Google API at the platform, and the sizes for used host GPU or snapshot, but one at a time. Actually snapshot is the screenshot that they started again and again, and use your host GPU accelerated the GPU acceleration. You can use one at a time. And here we go, that goes on, and it's okay. Now run this. That's the new device that you added. Now first start the app and launch. Emulator started, and here your emulator has been started, is powered on, and here we are. Now this is your Android emulator that we started. Now next move on to SDK manager, another environment with settings. In SDK manager you set up the environment for your app, on which environments, on which platform does this app runs on. Like you have different environments like kits like Android version 6 5.1. This the main things that you want to add is Android SDK tool and platform tool. The first you have seen, sorry. The next one is the Android tool. On you can, it's not necessary to add all the APIs, just add one or two that you want to add, but you may add, actually it gives the environment that or you can download the hardware of the particular device. Now they give the extras that are usually necessary, Google Play services that you want to add, or building a library that you want to use in that device. Now USB driver, if you want to use your mobile as a debugging tool instead of emulator, you have to choose this one. And availability, if you want web driver for this, and here as XAMPP for virtualization. Now install them. Here we are. I actually installed already, so here the first then goes on, and here the tutorial about the SDK manager. Now move on to Visual Studio for the Android development. When you install Xamarin, the SDK manager settings and AVD manager settings have already been set in Visual Studio. You just have to make a project of Android app. Here we are making an Android Hello World app, and here we go. Okay, this is the project, the main activity, the main view. Here we get started, and it got open now. Yes, and this so I will explain you later what it is. And in the properties there is a Android manifest file, just as you know, like JSP, you have a view in which you have defined what's the properties of your app, and just like this an Android app have features like I'm here targeting the mini SDK version, the minimum version of this app on which SDK kit this will run, like Android version of 16 SDK version, and now I'm getting targeted like a recommended version. And here we go, I'm just setting it to 23. Now goes on, and yes, like we have many versions of our app. Now the first starting app I'm as it is defined is Android version 1.0. There are many other properties of Android, you can Google it and search it. Actually I'm just giving an overview of Android app. This is the name of your application, Android Hello World app, from label that you get from which your application will saved on your device. And this is a built-in file, you no need to change that one. Assets and the resources, here we are, and in the resources the files that you kept, like here is the icon, media files and layouts like icons, images, sounds, etc. that are placed in the resources folder. And the double icon that has been selected for the app icon, you can say that. And the layout, main layout, the layout that has been shown to the user, I mean the view activity layout. I've shown you the activity, main activity, its layout is this main XML file. Here's the designer for this, and there we go, and this is app main designer showing you. Here's the button Hello World, click me. That's it's using a string hello. I shown you what that means. There we go, this is designer. Yes, you can zoom in and zoom out the app like you want. And here the toolbox, thing that you want in the to on just like this, as you do in WPF, or you can say web form, Windows form, etc. I'm choosing like switch. I choose a switch and add it. Here we are. Now add a different tool like spin it and so and here we go. I'm choosing like I have chosen date. The date has been added. Now here is the date picker and I added the date picker. These are the views widgets that you are adding to your view. So their controller in the main activity, you can control them from that cs files. Here is the designer, and that you are setting only the layout here. And now you can see in the source that has automatically been developed, like you have been developed many apps in like WPF, etc. Now this is a app, this is the main layout, and in which there is a button switch. If you are an Android developer, you know very well that what that meaning is. Although if you are not, then that's not being a big issue. I think you all of you know a little bit about WPF. That's almost the same syntax but different. Here we are string text, that the string hello. First that button is being identified by ID named my button. That's you can say that my button is the identifier of that button, and here is my ID from which my button is identified, and here date picker from which these are the buttons from which. Now I am going to explain what string hello means. So string hello, it's been string is a file in which there is a field hello by whose text will be written here, and here we go. That's the string in resources and named hello, and its text is here. When the app runs, when you run the app, this name hello, it's like the variable named hello, and its value is hello click me. This is only simple smiley, and that goes. Now that's the designer. In the designer you can see that has been changed. It will be now written view. It's taking time. Yeah, here you can see this is only sample that. Now here we go to our, and there's a completed main activity. Here set content view resources dot layout dot main. Actually resources is the folder and layout is the subfolder in which the main is the file named XML, that the layouts, and here we are the main.xml. Yes, as you can see at source, this layout has been set to as a content view for that, and here's the and the main activity here, and then there's a button, and by which I am getting my button main. Actually I'm setting my main over there, and sources layout, and then actually defined before, as I defined in the main.xml, that content view is set according to, actually the linear layout got an object, will become an object, and that object will assigned as to set content view. Now here we go, the button, I have selected my button as I told you before, that resources, and that button will be identified by my button named, and here I go to click event on it, and when that button clicks on, it goes just an counter incremented and shown on as a text overwritten on button text as a button text override. So I'm going to run this app, AVD manager, as before. I have already run as my emulator is already running, so I just run the app and it start building. we're taking time there, and here we are. Okay. It's taking time, and here we go. Build, and it's in running string. Hello world, that's it. Now click me, and these are the widgets that we are. You can directly deploy it to your Android phone to run it if your system can't afford such memory. And here we do clicks, whatever you want. Calendar, switch as close it. Here goes on. That's a simple app. Hello world. Now let me show you app containing two activities. Like when you click a button, a new activity has been opened, or a new view has been opened. You can say that. Now create a new activity. Here we go. Add new item. Now it's taking time. And create an activity. Let's say the second main. Let's say second, and add it. Okay, here we go. The activity has been created. Now just create a layout for this, and in the layout file, just in resources, under layout, create a new Android layout. Well, it's not necessary to name as activity name and XML file name same. It's not necessary. Add it. Here we go, designer. Just I'm getting where's the text or label, and here we go, go. Label, oh, I didn't find such a thing. So yeah, there's text view. Here I did a text view. So yeah, you can see that. Just change the name, the ID. Let's give it D1. And yeah. Here we go in the designer, and let's go to make a button. There we are. That's it. That's a simple activity layout that we just made. Here's a source that has been added. First, go to the what's called here the setting content view, and yes, here we are, resources dot layout dot, and the name of the file is second. There we go. It's very flexible, as Visual Studio gives code hints. Now get button, and okay, go to the second one. Create a new button. Just name with ID name second. There goes second. I'll give a second string and set the string of it. Let's say second. click my to go to the next activity. Oh yes, here we are. It's all done. It's second. So the main activity, get the button named second. PTN. Now I add a click event on it. Okay, BTN. For starting a new activity, you have to make an object of type intent, which will make you start a new activity. From this activity, the first parameter is this activity, like this class, the activity you are running, and the next one is the type of the other activity that you want to start. Here we go, that's the second, and that's it. There we go. And there's the function is I think start activity. Yeah, start activity. Yes, send, give it the intent. If you want to send some data to the other activity from this one, there's a function intent. In the intent, put extra. Like I'm sending a single object. There's a lot of function that you use, like I'm just using, let's I send a variable count. First I need to tell the variable by which named I get it. I will get that see entry from this, and count I send the variable. That's it. Now, and the second activity, there we go, second activity. Yeah, here we are. Now firstly, I think the function is I've got yes, find view by ID. Yes. Here we are. Text, for the text view, that is in the second layout. Find view by ID, text view, and sending the resource dot id dot t1, and here we are, the t1. Yeah, as it is. Now I have to set it as text. First I have to get that variable value that I sent from the previous activity to this one, and count intent dot get. There are a lot of functions that you want to get. If you want to send an object, you can get it an object. There are functions get bundled. If you save the instance of the state when your app logs on from the start, and a lot of functions that you want to use. So I'm just using int extra. I actually passed int, so I'm getting it, and default value 0. If if there isn't a variable, so the default value 0 is set. Now the text dot text, here we are. I may just make it a string, and that's a lot easier way. We are starting our object. Project has been started. Here we go. That has been started deploying. Here we are. That's it. And here we click. Oops. What did I do? What I didn't make any action on the button, so there goes an error. I did something wrong. What did I wrong? Oh yeah, here we go. I forgot. The second button named is second. Oh yes, second. The button one. Oh yeah, second. That's it. Now let's run this again. There you go. Let's come on, and yeah, here we go. Click, click, clicks. Now on the click of the second button, there we go. It's 15 clicks. Now give send 16. Oh yes, that's right. All right, here we go. There's a multi-screen app that I've shown you. There's all about dual app. Here's the code, and there it is. So let's close this app. Oh yeah, there it is. That's all about the Android app and the Xamarin. Let's now close the solution and now move on to the next. So here we are. This is the iOS app implementation, and in this there we go, iOS, and iOS here we're making iOS blank application. Click this one, and we go iOS the world. This first, yes, the application started, and here it goes to Mac and connected to. For this we have to connect to the Mac VirtualBox, I mean Mac OS for iOS implementation, and here open iOS Mac in VirtualBox. And here we go, the settings for the iOS app implementation, and open the here we go in settings. First thing, you need to remember the IP address here for the connection with your Mac, and then you have to first close this one and this one. Then back to the shading option. This markup I have already opened it, marked. This is remote login for all the users. This is it. And here in the back, in the security, there is security and privacy settings, and in firewall, just turn on the Wi-Fi, and if not, then click the lock button and turn it on. Here we go. Oops. Yes, firewall option, and let's see, here is the remote login with SSH. If that's not allowed, allow the permission, remove the block while incoming operation, and then okay. Here we go back, first unlock it, and then remember this network DHCP. Okay, then here is the Mac. So now give the IP address that you remember, 192.168.21.3, and the username and password. Here you go, my Mac username, Shamsir. Okay. When you have to connect to your Xamarin emulator for iOS development, you have to connect to the Mac. This is essential, and here we are going to this, and we got an error here. Actually, this is an issue that I didn't have a Mac actual book. I'm using it on a VirtualBox, and for this we need a VirtualBox. Two things: Xamarin iOS host application, and Xcode, which is it takes a lot of memory, and on the VirtualBox it's impossible for me right now to download it. So I keep the graphical representation. I just show you with pictures, and here we go. This is project demonstration. First in components, here we can add the here we can add all the app store plugins, like you want to use any online services, you want to just add from it the components. Here we go, project representation, and in Xamarin developer products. Yeah, here we start. That's an actually first in the references. First in the references, there are all the DLLs that are required for this iOS project. Then in components, as I defined earlier, that we need the Xamarin store for products like services that we need. Here we go in Xamarin store product. Yeah, these are the the plugins that you want to add to your app. These are the plugins that you can add, like simply and more that you want to add. Now here we go. The next one is resources. Xamarin handles its resources with its own way. Yeah, and resources contain all the images and like the media files that you want to add in your app. That goes all in the resources folder. And you can see here the different ways. Now go to the project again, and the main CS file. This is the main entry point where your app gets started and loaded in the, and when you click and it load in your operating OS like iPhone or an iPad and Mac. And here goes next app, the delegate CS. Here the application start point. After that, when registration, this is the name of the application, or you can say the view, which tells that what happens when the next goes on, and like something like that. Then the main storyboard, how your apps goes on, like first view and second view. This one. Now after that, there is view controllers, and view controllers you have to define. Here we go. Okay, in view controllers you have to define what are the views which you want to display and what are the properties in each, and I will explain you that later in defined below. And here this is designer for that, and for this go, you can see that like this the different files. Actually I cannot explore these, but because I didn't have a Mac connection, that's why VStudio didn't give the option to explore these files until I have the Mac connection for this. Now here the architecture of the iOS app. The main app goes in name, and it specifies what's your name of the app delegate CS the file, and then it will register according to the CS and run the app. This is the name as I get the app delegate CS. This is the name that's the name of the application, I could say. And here we are. This is the name registered. Actually this is the name, not the class name or the namespace name. Now here's the iOS designer. This is the toolboxes as defined the properties. Toolbox designers, where you can design easily your app UI easily. Here we go. This is the main view. Then the widgets that you want to add, subviews you can say that, and here is the elements, and there you go. These are the view. First one, this hierarchy of the view, then the first application, then view, then root view, and then sub view, and view life cycle. First, how the app runs on this storyboard. I already tell you in the storyboard. Now there you go. life cycle. This is in the view life cycle. In the view controller, this is a life cycle. In life cycle, we tell what happened when this option goes on, like when did load, when the application loads, when did release, did that you want to do, what you want to do in that application when that happens. And we go, this is testing and deployment features. Now debugging tools, actually the as you know, Visual Studio gives the debugging tools. This happens again in the iOS, also in then iPhone. Here we are, and in the iOS multi-screen. So I'm going to tell you about some little bit about the multi views. First, in the storyboard we have to design like first view and then the second view, and which follows the model view MVC pattern. Normally you can say that a little bit views, a view is shown to the users when press some buttons, the button, the action is written in the controller, and controller according to send the model view, and according to get data and receive and updates the view and send it back to the user. That's how the service goes on. And how this is the apps like this. When the user clicks settings button, this sends data. I mean, its controller is written in its action is written in the controller, and from there it's get the view that want to display to the user, and get the settings view, and send it back and shown it to the user, and helps that. Now you can see the views. We are like this. When a user click the settings button, new view come up in front of push the stack, like and when the user press the back button, the view that shown is popped out from the stack. Here we goes. This is how the app working goes on, app stack goes on. Same in iOS, and although same in the Android. Video. Now that's all about the app, the iOS project. And one thing more I want to tell you about Xamarin. In Xamarin there is a iPhone simulator in which you can see your app running and debugged, and a little bit more control about the app, because when you run this app and when you run the app in the Visual Studio, it starts deploying on the Mac Xcode, and then Xcode execute that code and run it on the iPhone simulator. So here we go, and here in Xcode I didn't install Xcode. That's what was an issue. So iPhone simulator, you have to download it from, you can Google it and download it from the internet. And here we are. That's done according to the iOS. That's intro that I want to give you. Here you have to select the iPhone simulator if you want to use iPhone simulator, else you can use iPhone that directly deploy your app in the Mac or iPhone that you develop. So now let's start developing the Xamarin Forms cross-platform application or app that can run on different platforms. So there we go, cross-platform, and it stocks. So, and yes, there it is. Now start blank app with Xamarin Forms and Portal. There is a little bit difference between portable and shared. And in the shared project, the code is written and code is shared between different apps. Although in portable, the apps actually in portable, the code is being shared, and every app has its own assets, like ads and service plugins has its every project has its own assets. But in shared, the native code has the assets, and it's been developed and transferred to all the different OS platforms. Let's start with portable, and as you can see that Forms hello world. Xamarin Forms hello world. And yet there it is. Okay, here we got started. It's take a little bit of time, and it start. Okay, here we are. So that's the pop-up for Windows application. Minimum SDK version, minimum version, and the maximum version. So it's all set. And here we go for UWP. Here we are, and that's the page that opens, and down the book. And this book is available for Xamarin Forms, multiple cross-platform app development. You can download it from here freely. So let's start. There are multiple projects, actually 5 projects when you make this. And first one, Droid, is for hello world Droid. This is for Android, and this is for iOS, and this is for universal Windows, means Windows 10 OSs, like Windows 10 running on PC, on laptops, on mobile phones, on Windows phones, etc. And this is for Windows 8.1 running on laptop, on the machines actually, and Windows phone running Windows 8.1. Okay, now let's start. Let's see the main codes here now. Actually, this app.cs. Now here's the main code. That's the app main page. Set the page type, application type, that's a single page. Actually, it's making a content page, and setting a layout, and then setting its positions, and then setting a new view. Actually, here we call them a view or controllers. A label is a controller, and now we add a label or whose text is welcome to Xamarin Forms. That's a simple app having welcome screen of welcome to Xamarin Forms, or you can say welcome to Xamarin Forms with courseware project team. And that's it. That's that's object we made and assigned it to children, and here we are. Now that's the app actually. So let's go and start telling you about. Here's the packages. Here you can see no components for different apps natively. Actually, you can add components for every project differently. So these are the assets and resources. You don't need to do anything for this. Icons, resource designer, auto-generated files. You don't need to do anything about that either. And here we go, the main activity. It's getting all set. Xamarin hello world label, there's drawable icon, and new app is the name of the class. Actually, this one, hello world portable app.cs, that's the name of the app. It is referring to main activity app. So it's giving an error because it is not compiled yet. That's why it's giving an error, because that code will be auto generated. When you compile the code, it will be resolved. So here we go in the iOS. You don't need to do again. The resources are simple. Apps code given, nothing to do. Now app.delegate, this is something that in it, that it's also loading an application new app. That's the main entry point. That's the simple app delegate, and in app delegate it's calling an application new app view, actually new app. So here we go, universal app, that app.xml main page. You can see Xamarin Form hello world app, initializing it, and here we go, app.xml. You don't need to do anything in this. Okay, so here we go, That's for universal apps, and same goes for this one, and same goes for Windows Phone, either this one. Now let's start an app. Let's see, I want to run this app in Windows Phone, actually on my Windows. Actually this one, local machine. Firstly, let me start my everyday manager again, and actually I run this one from Xamarin Mac agent for running Mac as simulator. And here we go into and here we go, everyday manager, and here is the page as we start. Now start it, launch. So here we go, running and running. It's running. Emulator. Let's here the emulator has been loaded. Let's start the project, and here actually keep here I'm going to start two apps. Okay, brother. Yes, multiple start projects. Here I want to go start, and here is this with the phone app start. Okay, now deploying start. Let's start simply. Multiple of not any CPU. Firstly the hello Android. Start this one with this one, and here is starting compiling the project, and here we go. Here we are, the app's been started deploying on our everyday manager emulator. So come on, and as you see, it's progressing. It's take a lot of time. Here we go. As you can see, welcome to Xamarin Forms with Courseware project team. You can see now run this project. I think I can run an instance from here too, if it gives the option. So it's not okay. Let's start. Let's run this project for Windows app, and here we are. Run it on a local machine. Yes. You need to deploy, verify the database configuration to deploy the project. Okay, this got an error. So here we go. CPU configuration manager and UWP. Yes. Okay. Now close. Yeah, running on the local machine, and here we go, start building your project. Now let's wait. So here's the app started, and yeah, there got an error. Oh yeah, error comes. Welcome to Xamarin Forms. So you can see that we coded once, and it made the project available in all platforms. But here is the iOS code, but I can't run. Actually, my Mac won't. It doesn't support my Mac. So let's make a little change. Here, one way is to write the code in this file and the other way is to write the code in XAML file. Let's make a new XML file. Here we add a new item, initializing template, and here we go, cross platform XML content page forms content page. Like here we say, like I say sample content. Okay, oh sorry, that's make a little bit change here, like this, and you can add the content page to the main app. As you can see, let's run this. Now here, remove all this. I made the class sample content, and this runs the same as the way before. Let's close. It goes. Okay, I didn't add anything in it, so it's showing nothing. Actually, there it is. Hello context label text hello content page, but it's behind there, so you can see. So make a little change. Make a change. Let's vertical options. Actually, vertical options, center, like layout options dot center. Actually, this. So this one, and here we go. Let's start the machine, and you can see that it comes to the center. I hope that's not it. Actually, oh yeah, can actually I'm bringing this label to the view. That's the way. Now I'm making the children to come the layout at the center, at the layout center. Oh yes, here it is. Now it comes to the center. Other content page comes. Okay, come, and yeah, here it is. Okay, now make the other version, like XAML file. You can code in the CS file, or you can use the XAML page, designer page, like second content sample, second content. Here we are. Added the label text binding main text. Here we go. As I just write this, it is as I think thing is welcome to XAML. Here it is, and it's the same as a text that we did there. Vertical options, horizontal options. Now let's run this. First you need to change the main page to what's the name is second content. Here it is. Now let's run the machine, run it on the local machine, and here we go. Welcome to XAML. Yeah, here it is. So let me change and show you a little bit code here. Yeah, that's the page. There's like it's made title, icon, and content and stack layout. Here username, password. It's using it in the CS file, XAML forms, C# code, or you can use a XAML page. Like here it is. Okay, there's a lot of features in XAML forms. You didn't need. For example, you have XAML form, lot of features actually. I'll show you a little bit about them. Like you got the intro how to make the app. Let me take you there. Okay, now let's start with the Xamarin form features. There we go. Starts and Xamarin. Let's see that. Which one? Xamarin application fundamentals. I think here it is. I think hey, here it is. Game development. Xamarin provide the feature to code with the different game engines like CocoShop, Monogame, Euroshop, even with the Unity projects, and make the games with the Unity and use them with these apps and convert the games. Then there's second thing like you can use, and then a Xamarin inspector. Inspector is something like the application is running and you are changing the project like this thing. It's the Xamarin, it's the inspector, and when you click here, it's the code. You can go there. This on the designer like this. Then the second thing is Xamarin workbooks. Xamarin workbooks is like the console feature. Like you do something and get the output like this, console.log, and here you got the answer. It's like this. Although we need a lot of things to do this. First thing is to install interactive and then run it, although they all runs in the Visual Studio and Xamarin platform. Then here comes Xamarin Sketches. In Xamarin Sketches, there are a lot of things that are already built in the Xamarin. You just need to add, like for example, most of the layouts has been made, and most of the icons etc. has been made, and then the engine supported, as I told you before. Microsoft Azure options has been made. TLS option, transfer, like communication between client and for the communication between client and server options given. And then here comes Android. For Android, give all the options of on-chip platform features, and then the advanced topics. Here you can see that you can control a lot of features of the Android mobile with this working with the Android manifest files and GDB and Java library. The native, it's using the native libraries and convert them to Java code and then run the apps. Multi-core device, control the devices, multi-touch features, and lot of features of the Android. Then you can also code, develop apps for the Wear also. Here it is. And same for the iOS and Mac, and inside and then come Xamarin Forms main features. XAML, I told you before that you can code between CS file or XAML file. Then here come the UI phases, like XAML. You can read out a previewer namespace is different bindable object hota hai. Then come the user interface, how it works. First thing is the layout, that is set like static layout, stack layout, and linear layout, other things. Then here it comes. My introduction is very low, little bit low. Yeah, here it is. The styles you want to add, navigation features, a list view, maps, table view, web view, different features that Xamarin has provided us. Then comes the data pages. The data pages, for example, you have a database, or you like data source, you can give the table the data source, it can populate and design the pages and the layouts automatically. You don't need to code for them. Okay, and here comes the theme, the Xamarin built-in themes. Here it is, a simple thing. Different pages like detail page, data view, card view, different item list items, etc. The themes working, and a lot of features that you can imagine. And this is even benefit for us to, it's been the benefit for us that we can use, like for example in data pages, all of the code has been done by the Xamarin or VS Studio itself. Just we need to do a little bit code and it makes the app just in 5 to 10 minutes. You don't need to worry. Although if your machine or is fast or have high performance, that's why. Okay, that's for the Xamarin Forms cross platform. Thank you for watching. Allah Hafiz.